Ever wondered about the difference between a 1099 contractor and a W-2 employee? Well, you've come to the right place. Today, we're going to unravel the complexities of these two classifications. You see, whether you're an employer figuring out hiring practices or an individual exploring job prospects, understanding the distinction between a 1099 contractor and a W-2 employee is crucial. It's not just about knowing the terms. It's about understanding how these classifications impact your responsibilities, particularly when it comes to taxes and financial planning. These aren't just dry financial terms. They hold the key to how you manage your resources, navigate tax obligations, and even how you plan your future. So whether you're a seasoned business owner, a startup founder, a freelancer, or a full-time employee, this knowledge is essential. So buckle up as we dive into the world of 1099 contractors and W-2 employees. First, let's understand who a W-2 employee is. This term refers to an individual who is formally employed by a company and, as the name suggests, receives a Form W-2 at the end of the tax year. This form reports an employee's annual wages and the amount of taxes withheld from their paycheck. So how does this tax withholding work? It's actually quite straightforward. Employers withhold federal and state income taxes, along with Social Security and Medicare taxes, directly from the employee's paycheck. The amount of tax withheld is based on the withholding allowances that the employee claims on their Form W-4. That's the form you fill out when you start a new job, indicating your tax situation and determining how much tax will be withheld from each paycheck. But being a W-2 employee isn't just about having taxes withheld from your paycheck. There are also benefits associated with this classification. W-2 employees are often entitled to a package of benefits that can include health insurance, retirement plans, paid time off, and workers' compensation. These benefits vary from employer to employer, but they can significantly enhance the overall compensation package for W-2 employees. What you'll notice here is that W-2 employees are under the direct control of the employer. They're usually required to work set hours, and their work is often closely supervised. This level of control extends to financial matters as well, with the employer handling the withholding and payment of taxes, as well as the provision of benefits. So, to sum it all up, a W-2 employee is someone who has a formal employment relationship with a company, has taxes withheld from their paycheck by the employer, and often receives a range of additional benefits. It's a classification that offers a certain level of security and predictability, both in terms of income and benefits. Essentially, a W-2 employee is under the direct control of the employer, with taxes withheld and benefits provided. This covers the broad strokes of what it means to be a W-2 employee. In the next scene, we'll delve into the world of 1099 contractors to further highlight the differences between these two classifications. Now, let's shift our focus to the 1099 contractor. This classification represents the self-employed individuals who provide services under a contractual agreement. You might know them as freelancers, consultants, or independent contractors. They are not employees of the company they work for. Rather, they are running their own businesses. When it comes to taxation, 1099 contractors are fully in charge of their own financial affairs. They bear the responsibility for paying their own income taxes and self-employment taxes. These self-employment taxes cover their Social Security and Medicare contributions, which are typically split between employers and employees in the W-2 setup. Now you might wonder, how do these contractors report their income? Well, they don't receive a W-2 form at the end of the year. Instead, they receive a Form 1099 NEC or 1099 MIC. These forms report their income from contracts. But unlike the W-2, no taxes have been withheld from this income. It's up to the contractor to set aside the necessary funds over the course of the year to meet their tax obligations. This lack of tax withholding brings us to a crucial point about being a 1099 contractor: the necessity of financial discipline. Since no taxes are being automatically deducted from their payments, these contractors must be diligent in setting aside a portion of their income for taxes. This often involves making estimated tax payments on a quarterly basis. Finally, let's touch on benefits. Unlike their W-2 counterparts, 1099 contractors typically do not receive company-provided benefits such as health insurance, retirement plans, or paid time off. Instead, they must arrange and fund these benefits themselves, adding another layer of financial responsibility. In essence, a 1099 contractor operates more independently, without tax withholding, and typically without company-provided benefits. They are their own bosses, with all the freedom and responsibility that entails. In the next section, we'll delve into the key differences between W-2 employees and 1099 contractors to help you better understand these classifications. Now that we have a basic understanding of both classifications, let's highlight the key differences. First, let's talk about control. Employers typically have more control over their W-2 employees. They can dictate when and where the work is done, the tools and systems used, and even the methods in which the work is completed. On the flip side, 1099 contractors generally have more freedom. They decide their own work hours, set their own rates, and choose how to complete their tasks. Next, we come to tax responsibility. For W-2 employees, their employers withhold federal and state income taxes, Social Security, and Medicare from each paycheck. This means the employees don't have to worry about setting aside money for tax payments. However, 1099 contractors must shoulder their own tax obligations. They need to make quarterly estimated tax payments to cover their income tax and self-employment tax liability. This requires a good deal of financial discipline and planning. Lastly, let's discuss benefits. Companies often provide a variety of benefits to their W-2 employees. These can include health insurance, retirement plans, paid time off, and even workers' compensation. However, 1099 contractors usually don't receive such perks from their clients. They are responsible for their own health insurance, retirement savings, and they don't have any paid holidays or sick days. So, as you can see, being a W-2 employee or a 1099 contractor can greatly affect your work style and financial situation. It's not just about how you do your work, but also about how you plan for your taxes and secure your benefits. These distinctions not only affect your work style, but also impact your tax obligations and benefits. These classifications matter. Here's why. On the legal front, employers need to pay close attention to worker classification. The IRS and Department of Labor take misclassification seriously, and for good reason. Misclassifying a W-2 employee as a 1099 contractor can result in significant penalties, back taxes, and potential legal consequences. This is because such misclassification can lead to underpayment of taxes and denial of important worker benefits. Conversely, classifying a 1099 contractor as a W-2 employee can also lead to complications. Employers may find themselves paying unnecessary taxes and offering benefits where they may not be required. It's therefore crucial for businesses to correctly classify workers, adhering to the tax regulations and labor laws. Turning to the financial planning side, the classification of a worker as either a W-2 employee or a 1099 contractor carries significant implications. For W-2 employees, taxes are conveniently withheld from paychecks, and they often have access to employer-sponsored benefits such as health insurance, retirement plans, and paid time off. However, they may have less control over their work and potentially fewer opportunities for tax deductions. As for 1099 contractors, they shoulder the responsibility of paying their own taxes, often through quarterly estimated payments. They also have to provide their own benefits, which can be a significant financial burden. On the upside, they enjoy greater autonomy over their work and may be eligible for more business-related tax deductions. In essence, the financial implications of worker classification extend beyond just tax obligations. They also encompass benefits eligibility, potential deductions for business expenses, and the overall financial stability of the worker. Remember, correct classification is not just about following the law, it's about ensuring fair treatment and financial stability. It's about maintaining a balance between the needs of the business and the rights of the worker, ultimately contributing to a more equitable and efficient working environment. You might be wondering, how do I determine the right classification? Well, this is where the Internal Revenue Service, or IRS, comes in handy. They've laid out guidelines that can assist businesses in determining whether a worker should be classified as an employee or an independent contractor. These guidelines revolve around three main factors: behavioral control, financial control, and the type of relationship between the worker and the employer. Now, while these guidelines can offer some clarity, They may not cover every unique scenario. That's where consulting with tax professionals or legal advisors becomes crucial. They have the expertise to navigate the nuances and complexities of tax laws and labor regulations. They can provide tailored advice to ensure you're on the right side of the law and help you avoid any potential pitfalls that could lead to penalties or legal consequences. Seeking professional advice can help ensure that you're classifying workers correctly and complying with all relevant regulations. We've covered a lot of ground today. We delved into the definitions of W-2 employees and 1099 contractors, the tax responsibilities for each, and the benefits associated. We also discussed the key differences between the two and the considerations for both employers and workers. Most importantly, we explored how to determine worker classification. Remember, understanding your tax status as a W-2 employee or a 1099 contractor is essential for both compliance and financial planning. Stay informed, stay compliant.